What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to review ticker symbol VNQ, Vanguard's Real Estate ETF. Once we get through this, I'm going to show you another real estate mutual fund from Fidelity that I think beats this. They're very similar, but the expense ratio is a little bit better. But for those that are with Vanguard, I wanted to review this. So this management style is an index, asset style is domestic stock sector specific, and its current market price is $94.12. Going over the overview, you can see here that this invests strictly in stocks that are real estate investment trusts, such as REITs, companies that purchase office buildings, hotels, and other real property. The goal is to track the MSCI US Investable Market Real Estate Index 2550 index, and basically it offers high potential for investment income and some growth. Now, more importantly, what's the minimum investment? The minimum investment is $1. The expense ratio is 0.13%. For those of you who don't know what an expense ratio is, that is basically the fees that are charged to an investor to cover a fund or the ETF's operating costs. Now, if you look at just the performance and fees, you can see cumulative. This has been a very good return for holders. So 2004, they started this fund, VNQ, the Vanguard Real Estate ETF, and it has returned a total of 373%. Over the last 10 years, 83%. So definitely very good returns, definitely very respectable. Moving forward, you can see here on the historical price, just to get a better idea, if you started buying 10 years ago, VNQ used to cost $81, and then basically throughout the years stayed flat for almost 5 to 6 years, and then went all the way up to $115 in 2021. And now it's back to about $98. So I definitely am interested in seeing this. I definitely feel like if you're going to dollar cost average, that's okay. But what you're really relying on is the dividends you receive and the diversification of the portfolio composition, which is the number of stocks within VNQ are 155 with a median cap of 33 billion. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But the PE ratio of the overall companies, PE ratio is basically the price per share of a stock divided by its share per earnings over the past year. It's pretty high. It's at 38.9. So definitely something to consider there. What I wanted to show you is the sectors. So the weighted exposures. We know it's real estate, but what is it really in? So data center REITs are 9.4%. Diversified real estate is 0.2%. Let's go to the big parts. The retail is 13.4%. Your real estate services 7.2, office REITs are 3.5, multifamily residential 8.5. So you're getting a good industrials 10, healthcare 11.6. You're getting good diversification. What you're going to notice when I bring up the Fidelity version of this, you're going to notice the funds are very similar, except this is a bigger holding here at 13.65%, which we will compare later on in the video. But the companies like American Tower Corp, Prologis, Equinox, Welltower, they're pretty much very similar. You will see the composition of the portfolio very similar. But these are your main holders: Public Storage, Realty Income, I'm sure you've heard of, Simon Property. But this gives you better diversification. Moving in for the distributions, you can see that you get quarterly dividends, and per share you would make 81 cents around, which was the last one that paid around October, or $1.03 or 73 cents, 79 cents. So not terrible. You're definitely receiving a decent dividend on that. What I want to show you though real quick is just overall, I think this is good if you're going to invest long term. I mean, it's proven it has a strong track record, but I just want to show you the holdings. FSRNX. You can see here that this is the Fidelity's Real Estate Index Fund. FSRNX. It currently trades at $17 per share. I'm going to go over the summary real quick just so you can see what it actually looks like on a 10-year chart. And right now it is the purple line. So it is right over here at 17,000 if you had $10,000 invested. But look at your expense ratio at 0.07. It's half of VNQ's Vanguard. And then when you go to the composition, you can see just an easier layout for your healthcare at 11%, 0.44, your infrastructure 11%, industrial 10%, which was even with the other one. Data centers basically the same. They're both at 9%. But what I want you to really focus on here is looking at this top 10 holdings. You don't have that big allocation that Vanguard does. It says Vanguard's Real Estate Index Institutional Plus Shares. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I know that's just another ticker that you can buy, but you don't have that large 13.65% allocation to it. Instead, your first one is Prologis at 6.93%. And then if you see this one, Prologis is at 5.97%, whereas American Tower Corp is 5.69. It's 6.6%. So a little bit higher concentration in the Fidelity FSRNX. But I just like this one because I know I'm getting the same 157 companies that are within it, but not losing that 13% allocation as Vanguard does. I think that's something to definitely consider. What I want you to see is the fees and distribution for Fidelity. It gives you a better idea. You can get the dividend history here where, it costs $17 a share. So you're getting 13 cents per share, 8 cents per share, and you also gain a capital gains history on it, which is about a penny or 2 pennies a share. And they're both minimum investments are $0 each. So when you really think about it, if you have a Fidelity account, this is virtually the same exact real estate fund, except you can buy more shares because it's $17 per share compared to VNQ. When you look at the overall price of it, it's at $94 per share. So I definitely would keep that in mind if that's something you're considering. And then looking at the performance and risk of FSRNX, you can see that the real estate fund, the life of it is 7.46%. So maybe there is something to be said about VNQ's allocation into this 13.5% in VRTPX. Let's take a quick look at that. Let's just see what it is and see if we can get an idea on the holdings of it. So we'll click on this. This is the Institutional Real Estate Index Plus Shares. I guess you get a piece of it. And as you noticed, you get 13% in the VNQ. But look at the investment minimum. You have to have 100 million invested in it. So for most people watching this on YouTube, I'm assuming you're not watching my channel and getting investment advice if you have 100 million in funds. But I mean, if you do, that's great. Congrats. But looking at this accounts for 13%. And if you look, it's the same exact funds. So look, you have Prologis, American Tower, Equinox, Welltower, Digital Realty. Go to FSRNX, go to their composition. It's the same exact Welltower, American Tower, Equinox, Digital Realty Trust. It's all the same, except VNQ offers you this for a minimum payment of $1 for the investment. Just $1 to get invested. That's all you have to do. So I definitely would keep an eye on that. I just wanted to bring that up.